like to start.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Sure. Here, there, here. You got it. I can do that. When I do, okay. When I called Bruce American, sorry, did I split? I won't move. When I called Bruce American for the award, I asked their family to come up, their son and daughter, so we can get a picture of them up. Oh wait, they'll be up there for a few. That works. I just wait to get like 60 people in here and I'm good. Oh. So look, we've got welcome, then you do this, and then you keep going.
Oh, okay.
And then we call Tara, okay, and then I do the board gifts, I introduce Jay. No, you don't need to do that.
I'll do one for the whole board.
And if you want, look, if you want to do the board.
No, I have a different one.
Okay, just, it's there, I'm prepared. Look, this is from...
How many years?
Want to see something really funny? We talked about winning an award in the past, but this here, this is this is what, it's 2005. I mean, how cool is that? And some of this shit
It's still true.
This is year in I did from A to Z.
Oh, nice. That's so cool. Yeah. How clever are you?
But my favorite one is not the Q's. You got the H's.
That one with C's. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Does he want to pay for some additional?
Just ask where
Excuse me, Mike.
oh, Zoe wanted one of these also. She wants to do. You guys know that this is out there?
No, I put this away. That's okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Couldn't get started.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's rock and roll. Let's rock and roll. So I want to call our annual meeting to order. If we can do that, please. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Section 1 of our bylaws state that the annual meeting of the congregation shall be held in the last 2 months of the fiscal year at such time, date, and place as may be designated by the Board of Trustees. At the annual meeting, reports of the president, treasurer, rabbi, and other officers, employees, affiliates, and committees as requested by the Board of Trustees or the president shall be made. A budget for the fiscal year shall be adopted, and the annual election of officers and members of the Board of Trustees shall be conducted, and the congregation shall dispose of such other business as may properly be brought before it. Section 3 of our bylaws says, notice of the annual meeting shall be provided to the voting members of the congregation at least 10 days prior to the date of the annual meeting, and 15% of the voting members will constitute a quorum at all annual meetings of the congregation. That means that we need to have 53 voting members of the congregation. I look out here, I know that we have in excess of 53 voting members of the congregation, so I can declare that we have a quorum and we can officially begin our annual meeting. Whenever we start a board meeting, we always start with a prayer. We do it to remind us that although we're here to conduct the business of the congregation, we're also reminded that we want to be guided by our Jewish values. So before we begin the annual meeting, I want to ask Rabbi Morrison if she would come forward and lead us in some sort of prayer or devar.
Thank you, Mike. We might think of our synagogue as a building where we gather, but the Talmud teaches us it's not the place that brings honor to the person, but the person that brings honor to the place. Who brings the most honor to Temple Beth-El? Each one of us together. Each of us helps make Temple Beth-El an inclusive and warm and welcoming congregation. May each of us continue sharing our light with this community and the community at large. May each of us feel energized and excited for the spectacular ways our community will continue to grow in the future. And may each of us feel called to get involved and be part of it all, no matter how small or how large, no matter if it's financial, metaphorical, whether you're a visionary or someone who wants to hand out name tags. Each step matters, and each person matters. At this congregation, we need everybody's light. We are truly grateful for the commitment, generosity, and dedication of our members, of our leadership, and we, as a staff, would like to welcome each of you here tonight as we each brighten our community and sustain our one beloved synagogue. And so, as we turn to the next slide, we join together in the words of Shehechianu. I invite you to look at the people around you, look in front of you and behind you. This truly is community with over 150 people here tonight. We didn't just surpass our quorum. We really showed up as one sacred community. Please join me. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu la'azman hazeh. Blessed are you, eternal God, who has given us life, sustained us, and allowed us to arrive at this moment. And let us all say, Amen. Amen. We'll get it together. Got to wait till we're 100. So this evening, Tara and I decided to ask the staff to really not only do presentations, but to show up in front of our congregation because they are very much a part of our day-to-day. When you show up at a program, they have all been working tirelessly. When a kid or an adult goes home and says, that was great, it's because, part and parcel, our staff shows up in the ways that they show up. So I've asked each of them to make a very brief presentation so that you can not only place eyes on these incredible human beings that I work alongside, but you can have the opportunity to give your ideas and your gratitude to them as well. So I'd like to begin with Jennifer Hannon, our Early Childhood Center Director. As Jen comes forward, I also want to let everyone know today is her birthday.
It's a lot of people. Okay. Hi, my name is Jennifer. I am the director of the Early Childhood Center. As I complete my first full year in this role, I've spent a lot of time reflecting on how meaningful this experience has been for me, personally and professionally. It's difficult to fully put into words the sense of fulfillment this role has brought into my life. Being trusted with the care, growth, and everyday moments of our youngest members, while also building relationships with family and staff, have been incredibly rewarding. There's something truly special about being part of a community where children are learning, families are connecting, and people genuinely care for one another. I leave every day feeling grateful to be a part of it. This past year has been filled with many meaningful moments for the ECC. This was our first full year partnering with Excelsior Defense, which has helped strengthen the sense of safety and security on our campus for our children, families, and staff. We also saw such a wonderful engagement from families during events like our picnic and play in the beginning of the school year, snacks in the sukkah, and our Purim celebration. Watching families come together, build connections, and create memories with our school community has been one of my highlights this year for me. I'm so thankful for the support, trust, and kindness that this community has shown me through my first year as a director, and I look forward to continuing to grow relationships not only within the ECC, but through the broader Temple community as well. Thank you.
And now I invite up our Raymond Religious School Principal, Alexis Kelly.
Hi, guys. So I've stated it before, and I just want to say I feel incredibly blessed and grateful that I have the opportunity to do this position. For those of you that don't know, I grew up here. So this is incredibly, it's just amazing. That's really the best way I can say it. It is incredibly fulfilling to be here in this role now. So to share some highlights from this year, we stayed within budget, which is always great. We made sure that we were, being very fiscally sound with our food and supplies and other event expenses. We collected 98% of religious school dues. We took the time to assess students with their Hebrew knowledge so that we can better support what it is they actually need, rather than just trying to teach to all these different levels. We increased engagement within and across grade levels, which led to next year we're going to bring back the Madrich program. We are seeing that the kids are getting, the teens are getting to their bar bat mitzvah, they're so excited, and then they need somewhere to go. And so we're really excited to welcome them back in whatever position that we can. I've made it very clear to the staff as well as to the students that I don't know what the position is that we have for them, but we have space for them no matter what. Our kids and our staff participated in many different events this year. We did Hanukkah in your pajamas. We had a chocolate Seder, which definitely left many of our students a little sick afterwards. And we had the first full year of family days in where they create their own part of their Jewish toolkit. At one point, I met with families to hear what they want to see their students leave with at the end of religious school. I think that input is incredibly valuable to me and valuable for the teachers to actually know that we're doing what the parents are hoping for and expecting. We ended the school year with 65 religious school students, which is an increase since the beginning of the year. We have 6 current teachers returning, 1 previous teacher returning, and 2 new. So we're going to have an absolute full staff next year, which I'm really excited about. At the end of the day, I just, more than anything, it's one thing I share with the staff at almost every single meeting, that this job is incredibly, incredibly important because we are building the next generation of empowered and knowledgeable and proud Jews. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexis. Something I forgot to mention at the beginning of everybody being together, we are having some shortening in our fire system, and so many times during every single day, our fire alarm goes off. So if it goes off this evening, we do have very clear directives to stay in our seats. We know that it is a false alarm, and if it is not, we will know within seconds that it is not a false alarm. So it's background music. I mean, nobody should be desensitized to it, but the fact is we've had 4 already today. So anyway, along those lines, I want to just acknowledge Tracy Nash, our bookkeeper, who is in the back of the sanctuary. Tracy, thank you so much. To our newest employee, Joe, who is our supervisor of our entire maintenance program. Thank you, Joe, for being here. And to Jeff and Gary, who are working in the building and making sure that those fire alarms are not real, I hope that you will acknowledge them, as well as the St. Pete police officer who was here when you came in. So now I would like to invite up our communications and engagement coordinator, Sarah Tova Feld. As Tova's coming forward, so much of the communication you get has improved, has elevated, has really been unbelievable because of Tova's vision, her hard work, and everything she puts towards making sure that there are not a lot of errors in what we send out.
I try. Thank you. Hi.
Good evening. My name is Tova Feld, Sarah. The past year has been an incredibly meaningful and rewarding journey. For those of you who may not know me well, my role has focused on strengthening communication, engagement, and connection throughout our congregation, helping ensure that every member of our community feels informed, welcomed, and involved. It has truly been a privilege to serve this congregation and work alongside so many dedicated people. One of my proudest accomplishments this year was taking the scroll quarterly and bringing it back to print, helping us reach our community in a more tangible and lasting way. In addition, I created printed mailers to promote key events from the high holidays and Hanukkah to J-Travel, adult education, and our adult B Mitzvah program, making it easier for everyone to stay informed and engaged. I was also proud to not only meet, but far exceed my goal for our Community of Connection sponsors. The overwhelming support and participation demonstrated just how deeply invested our congregation is in building a vibrant and connected community, and I'm so grateful to everyone who helped me make that success possible. Throughout the year, I produced countless videos to highlight and celebrate our events, bringing our community's energy and spirit to life. You'll see another very long one this evening. With the incredible support of Jenna Jertson and Allie Reeder, we also began the important work of rebuilding our sisterhood, creating new opportunities for connection, friendship, and growth. Beyond the work itself, one of the most meaningful parts of this year has been the relationships I've built along the way. I've made so many wonderful friends within this congregation, and I'm truly grateful to be a part of such a warm, welcoming, and dedicated community. I also want to recognize our executive board, board of trustees, my fellow staff members in the trenches, and our incredible volunteers. Your hard work, dedication, and support do not go unnoticed, and without each of you, none of this would be possible. I've had the privilege of helping plan and participate in so many meaningful gatherings, high holidays, Shabbat dinners, sisterhood events, Hanukkah, Purim, Passover, and more. It has been a year filled with learning, collaboration, celebration, and joy. And I'm truly excited to see what the next year will bring. Thank you.
Before I call up our next presenter, I want to make sure, many of you are in the room as well, that we thank our ECC teachers as well as our religious school teachers. They are a part of this community, and they are a part of our lives. So thank you to each of them for all you bring to our group. Next, I would like to call up our Director of Finance and Operations, Tara O'Donnell. Tara is going to be doing a brief budgetary presentation.
All right, good evening. Thank you for being here today. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Tara O'Donnell. I have the privilege of serving as the Director of Finance and Operations at TBE for about a year now. One of the responsibilities that I take very seriously is helping ensure our long-term financial health and sustainability for our congregation. Tonight, I have the privilege of walking us through the proposed 26-27 fiscal year budget that is being presented for congregation approval. The purpose of this presentation is to not only review the numbers, but also explain how this budget reflects our mission, our priorities, and the future of our community. This year's proposed budget was developed thoughtfully by staff, leadership, financial leadership, and the board. Our approach was guided by 3 goals: maintaining strong financial stewardship, supporting the programs and people that make our community so vibrant, and ensuring the stability of our future while continuing to invest in our community. The proposed budget for the fiscal year of 2026 through 2027 includes a projected total income of approximately $2.35 million. The total projected expense of approximately $2.346 million. We have resulting in a balanced budget with a modest projected surplus of just over $3,200 for the 26-27 year. On the income side, our largest source of revenue continues to be member commitment. That income projection is $732,000 for the incoming year. This reflects the continued generosity and commitment of our congregants. We are deeply grateful for the support that allows our synagogue to thrive. Our Early Childhood Center also remains a major and vital part of Temple Beth-El, with a projected income of approximately $973,000 for the 26-27 school year. Beyond being financially significant, the ECC serves as one of our most important entry points to young families into the Jewish life and our congregation. Additional income sources include investment and endowment income, religious school tuition and programming, special programming and fundraising efforts, and community contributions. On the expense side, this budget reflects our commitment to maintaining high-quality operations, meaningful programming, and exceptional clergy and staff support. Some of the major expense areas include administration and synagogue operations, maintenance and care of our aging campus, clergy and religious life, educational programming, music and worship experiences, and continued investment in our early childhood center and religious school. One thing I'd like to emphasize is this budget is not simply a spreadsheet. It is a reflection of our community values. It supports sacred worship space, pastoral care, Jewish education for all ages, community engagement, lifelong learning, programs that bring people together, and the operational foundation that allows this work to happen every single day. This budget also reflects careful planning and fiscal discipline as we recognize the economic pressures facing both families and the institutions right now. And we've worked diligently to build a budget that is responsible, realistic, and also sustainable. I want to acknowledge the staff, finance committee, treasurer, board members who spent significant time reviewing projections, evaluating our priorities, and ensuring this proposal aligns with the long-term vision of the Beth-El community. At this time, I'd like to formally present the proposed 26-27 Temple Beth-El budget for congregational approval. I will need a motion and open the floor to any questions before proceeding to the vote.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion to adopt the budget as presented by Tara, please raise your hand and say aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, motion passes. Thank you, Tara.
Thank you, guys.
We are moving right along. Our next stop along the way is board transitions. I want to take a moment before I ask Jay Miller to come up and present the new slate of officers. I want to acknowledge those board members who are stepping down. I also want to acknowledge that folks who have served on the board for many, many years are kind of the unsung heroes. They come to meetings, they look after our finances, they look after our policies and procedures, and it's something that we all need to be grateful for the people who give their time and their energy to help make our congregation run as smoothly as it does. So for all of you who are out here who have been board members or past presidents once upon a time, I want to thank you all for what you do. We have two folks leaving the board this year. One is Marianne Edmonds and the other is Andy Gauntz. In just a minute, Andy, I'm going to ask you to come up, but I want to take a minute to talk about Marianne, who I don't believe is able to be with us tonight. Marianne has served as treasurer for the last several years, and that is a very important job. Marianne has given of herself and hours of her personal time helping us figure out our finances, trying to keep us on track, asking difficult questions, and we all owe Marianne a lot of gratitude for the time and effort that she has put in for these many years. In just a minute, you're going to hear who our new treasurer is going to be, but that's the secret until Jay comes up here. But I also want to thank Andy Gauntz. Andy, you want to come on up, please? Andy's been a board member. Andy is going to be stepping down off the board as of tonight. I want folks to know how much time Andy has spent along with Jake and Logan on getting our security grants. Andy has worked tirelessly with folks up in Tallahassee to help us get monies to keep this building as safe as we possibly can. That means the sanctuary, the ECC, and our Sunday school. I cannot tell you how much time Andy has spent trying to figure out all of the ins and outs and the requirements of those grants. And Andy, we thank you so much for everything that you've done for us. And as a token of our appreciation, you know, on TV they do gifts with boxes and they just take the cover off and it's much easier. Keep going, Andy, man. Keep going. Here we go. Present it to Andy Knox.
I can take a picture with you.
Oh, sure. Let me get-
Here. One more.
All right, so now, Jay, you want to come on up? The next part of our agenda is where we get to introduce the new board members, and you all get to vote on the slate of board members. So I'd like to introduce Jay Miller, who currently is president-elect.
I want to start by saying I don't know who that dashing, not-so-young man is. I'm going to announce the incoming slate of officers and board members. If you are here, please join us on the BMOT. I know that not everyone is here tonight. Several people had conflicts, but as Mike said, I'll be your incoming president. The president-elect after me, yay, is Rebecca Baranchik. And Rebecca is visiting her mom out of town, so she's not here with us tonight. Most of you know her. Vice presidents, we have David Blum, Robin Corrales, and Jason Palmer. Treasurer, I know you've all been waiting to hear who our incoming treasurer is, and I'm really happy to be working with her, will be Ann Platt. Our secretary is Betty Goodson, who I believe is sailing somewhere on the Pacific because I keep seeing photos on Facebook. And of course, our immediate past president is Mike Shapiro. Let me announce the other board members that will be joining the officers. Jared Abelman, Sam Barron, Bruce Barishman, I know Bruce is not here, Brenda Breslow, Leah Duranian, Steve Greenberg, Jamie Jocelyn, Lee Koenig, Courtney Landry, Ashley Latham, Frida Marhi, Logan Sembler, and Allison Solo. And, I'm sorry, I missed our incoming Brotherhood president, Jake Woolman, and our Sisterhood co-presidents, Jenna Gersten and Allie Reeder.
Can I look this way, please?
Hold on, you don't have anyone.
Looking here. If you're behind somebody, I won't be able to see you, so get your face. Look in here. One more. Thank you.
So I'm going to ask the congregation to please rise as we bless them in front of the open ark. Face your congregation. Holy One of blessing, bestow your blessing upon this board who serve our congregation. Instill in them insight, understanding, perseverance, and a lot of patience. Inspire their work together with our board in pursuit of our community's greatest aspirations, even as they watch over its daily needs. Oh God, we are thankful for the dedication and giving spirit that brings them before you, prepared to devote their energy to your service and to benefit all of us. Grant success to their endeavors and help them lead us in the pursuit of our sacred mission. We pray that they will feel appreciated, valued, and cherished for the holy spark that each one of them give to our community. I now invoke this blessing upon each of you. Yivarechechem Adonai v'yishmerechem. May God bless each of you, all of you, and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elechem v'nichunechem. May God's light shine upon you, and may God be gracious unto you. Yisa Adonai panav elechem v'yasem lecha shalom. May you feel God's presence within you always, and may each of you find peace. Amen. You may be seated.
Can I have a motion, please, to approve the incoming board? And a second. I see a second, Steve Jenkins. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hands. It's unanimous. Thank you. Let me just say a few. I see a lot of familiar faces out there, but for those who don't know me, let me introduce myself just a little bit. I have a long history here at Temple Beth-El. My grandfather, who I was named after, Jacob Miller, was one of the original founding members of the temple when it was established over on Arlington Avenue. My father later was a president, as was my brother, who's sitting here in the third row, and my brother-in-law, Craig Scher. So I guess it's my turn. I have a few very general goals for the temple that I'll share with you. I'd love to solidify our community under the leadership of Rabbi Morrison and our Director of Finance and Operations, Tara O'Donnell, and the new board. I want to welcome new members to Temple Beth-El and grow the Jewish community here in St. Pete. I want to get to know you if I don't know you already, and I want to work together with the board and the entire congregation to celebrate together and acknowledge that our congregation is going to be 100 years old. In, what year is it, 2028? So in 2 years. So we have a big celebration coming up. And finally, before I step away, I would be remiss not to personally thank Mike Shapiro. Where are you? For as you know, Mike has carried the torch for Temple Beth-El for the past 4 years. 5 years.
But who's counting?
And I think 2 years before that, he's shepherded us through several changes in clergy and staff leadership. He's demonstrated his commitment to our temple again and again. And I personally and all of our congregation, I know, are deeply appreciative. So Mike, take a deep breath and do something like go on a cruise. Yeah. Onward.
Temple Beth-El is proud to honor Melinda Leibowitz for the Shofar Award this year. She is truly our Volunteer of the Year, recognizing her lifelong dedication to our community and her unwavering spirit of kindness. Melinda's connection to Temple Beth-El began in childhood, growing up in the congregation her parents once called home. Today, she continues that legacy with deep pride, especially when reflecting on her father's role as a past president. For Melinda, the temple is truly a place where she feels at home. Over the years, she has contributed in many meaningful ways. Melinda participated in Sunday Morning University, helped lead and support Mitzvah Day projects, and has been an active member of the Social Justice Committee. Her most important and impactful work, however, has been, in her words, with the Earth Angels. Through weekly phone calls to congregants who may feel isolated, by driving individuals to medical appointments, by just giving an ear to those who she is lucky enough to be in communication with. Melinda, you offer connection, you offer friendship, and from my mouth to your ears, you offer a spirituality that really lifts all of us. Melinda envisions a growing and vibrant, caring community at Temple Beth-El. Inspired by similar programs she's seen elsewhere, she hopes to see initiatives like Earth Angels continue to expand and strengthen. Her commitment to service extends throughout St. Petersburg. Melinda, you're not just ours. We have to share you. Melinda has volunteered with St. Petersburg's free clinic, served as a board member and discussion leader with Menorah Life, supported the arts as an usher with the American Stage, and contributed her leadership to the Pinellas Braille Group. She also spends time as a weekly reading buddy, sharing her love of learning with others. What many of you might not know is Melinda has an unbelievable relationship with poetry, and I was lucky enough to hear poems that she shared with me that truly have changed the way I see this world. Melinda's life is centered on family, including her partner, children, and grandchildren with whom she loves to read and spend time with. Through your compassion, Melinda, your dedication, through all that you are and all that you do, Melinda, you truly embody the spirit of volunteerism. So I invite you up to receive our Shofar Award for Volunteer of the Year. I feel like I'm opening your birthday gift. I'll let you open that. It reads, the Shofar Award, Volunteer of the Year, 5786, do not get up out of your seats, 2026, Melinda Leibowitz. Oh. Goes right there. Yeah.
Now you have to learn to blow it.
Michael's still taking it. Wait. Thank you. Mazel tov.
I'm still learning. I know to unpack the tissue first. The Temple Beth-El Award is given annually to an individual, couple, or family who has made significant contributions to the congregation for many years. These builders of Bethel give of themselves and their resources to help sustain our community and to strengthen and reinforce the foundation that was laid nearly 100 years ago. Our congregation owes a debt of gratitude to all the builders during the past century who have helped make Temple Beth-El the congregation we are today. Before I announce this year's winners, I wanted to share the names of folks who have won this award previously. Many times when I'm sitting here in the congregation on a Friday night and I listen to a yahrzeit list, I'll hear a name of someone that was once a member of the congregation, and I look around and I wonder, how many people know who that is? Do people realize what that person did? I don't want to forget these folks, so allow me to take a minute to just list the names of people who have won this award in years before. Sonia Miller, Rose Shaneberg, Doreen Ben, Jack Jenkins, Joyce and Cy Rips, Kurt and Viga Freitag, Lou Krosner, Val Fuldauer, Louis Kroll, Saul Markman, Judy and Hal Hershkowitz, Sonia Silverman, Esther and Bernie Roth, Gert Dabowski, Elsie and Mel Estroff, Beulah Teeple, Joy and Julian Jaffe, Sharon Memmer, Susie Ellinger, Irv and Donna Zelig, Ruth Davidson, Linda Orchard and Candy Weller, Debbie and Mike Allen, John Rosenbluth and Harvey Hertz. Somehow Louis Kroll got it again. Doug Negretti, Cecile Burko, Alan and Susan D., Richard Graham, Pam Sekaris, Jan and Craig Scher, Joe Sterensis, Phyllis and Paul Tauber, Abby Sterensis, the Sembler family, the Rosenbluth family, Rabbi Michael Torp, and Bonet, Steve Jenkins. This year's honorees are Marianne and Bruce Marger, and I want to ask Bruce and Marianne to please come on up with your family, please. This year's honorees are Marianne and Bruce Marger. Bruce's leadership at Temple Beth-El began at a very young age. Bruce was president of the Brotherhood in 1962. He then became president of the Temple in 1966, and again, some 21 years later in 1987. In both instances, as Temple president, Bruce answered the call to serve our congregation and help guide us through challenging times in a period of growth. Because of Bruce's commitment to our congregation, his aptitude, his legal expertise, combined with a common sense approach rooted in our Judaism, Bruce was instrumental in the continuation of Temple Beth-El at significant moments in the life of our congregation. Bruce has served our congregation for more than 65 years. Think about that. And he continues to offer his insight to this day while actively participating as a longtime member and a past president. Marianne has also been an important presence in our congregation for many decades. Perhaps unbeknownst to many of you, Marianne played an important role in the success of our art festival, Beth-El. In the late 1980s until the early 2000s, Marianne was the art critic for the then St. Petersburg Times, now the Tampa Bay Times. As art critic, Marianne was able to educate the public on the excellence of Art Festival Beth-El, and as a result of her efforts, the popularity and interest of Art Festival Beth-El grew immensely. For many years, the art show was prominently covered and promoted in the weekend section, adding to its credibility, raising its profile, and encouraging attendance from the greater community. Assisted by her efforts, not only did the show really blossom, but it also invited the community to enter our temple and demystify and maybe even reduce anti-Semitism just a little bit. Over the past 65 years, Marianne and Bruce have contributed significantly to our community and continue to support us to this day. Their commitment, dedication, and passion for our congregation is to be admired. As longtime role models, their leadership has helped strengthen our community. We are grateful for the many contributions Marianne and Bruce have made to our congregation. Congratulations to Marianne and Bruce Marger on receiving the 2026 Bonet Beth-El Award.
Come this way just a little bit. Looking here. Yeah, get a little closer. That's great. Let me take a couple. Looking here. And one more. Thank you.
Bruce and Marianne, I hope that you saw the standing ovation, which is rare when the rabbi doesn't say, please rise. So it's pretty excellent. I will tell you, Bruce told me the other day over brunch, he still goes into work every single day, and that is pretty incredible and an unbelievable role model they both make as a wonderful couple. Thank you both. So for most congregations, the annual meeting is almost like pulling teeth for the staff and the rabbi to get people to show up, and that is not the case here. It's also not the case on Shabbat Friday nights, on Saturday morning Torah studies, on second day of week Hebrew school on Wednesdays. It's not the case when we talk about doing mitzvot on mitzvah day or coming to social justice meetings. It's certainly not the case when you look at our new bereavement group, thank you, Dr. Gilbert, when you recognize we have 26 kids going to Jewish summer camp this summer, when you hear that we, thank you, Matt, took 12 kids to Washington, D.C. to participate in the social justice teen seminar, it's not tough to be your rabbi. It's pretty incredible. So thank you. As I enter into my third year as your rabbi, I hope and I pray that we continue this journey for many, many more years to come. At this time, it is my honor to bring one of my mentors up to offer some words. I invite up our Rabbi Emeritus, Michael Torup. He wants to watch.
I'm out of here.
Well, this is really for you. Deuteronomy 1, chapter 13. When searching for leaders of the Israelites, God told Moses to select individuals who were wise, discerning, and experienced. 5 years ago, Temple Beth-El was facing a challenging time of transition with my retirement and the arrival of a new rabbi. We were trying to reimagine temple life in the post-pandemic era, and we needed someone to step forward who would be able to respond to the years ahead with wisdom, discernment, and from the perspective of experience. Mike Shapiro was the right man at the right time for the job. Having served previously as president some 2 decades prior, he knew the job. Mike and Susan had raised their kids, Matt and Elena, at the temple. This was their home and the focal point of their lives for years. They knew what TBE's potential was as a place of belonging and gathering. And Mike is a decisive and clear thinker, qualities that were necessary for a strong presidency. I had the privilege of having Mike as a leadership partner during his first presidency. Together, we were able to pursue shared goals and a shared vision about leadership as a sacred commitment to one another, and about the congregation as a place that cared about its members as well as the wider community and the world in which we lived. These were the themes that Mike continued to embrace in his subsequent presidencies. He leaves a legacy through the kugels that stand ready in so many freezers throughout our community. We do really care about one another. And Temple is a place where the community gathers in joy and in sorrow, for celebration and for learning. This is how Mike has always wanted it to be. His service these past 5 years bears witness to how much Mike and Susan love Temple Beth-El and are willing to truly dedicate their lives to sustaining its present and its future. No day in the life of a Temple president is easy or without its surprises. Mike managed to handle each one with optimism and clarity, turning them into opportunities for Temple Beth-El to grow from strength to strength. We owe Mike a debt of gratitude that a few words cannot begin to express. Thank you, Mike, for your many years of sacred service of leadership to our holy community. I offer these words of tribute to you in friendship and gratitude.
Get you guys to stand over here for a second. Come closer to the. There we go.
Thank you, Rabbi Torah. And now some words from Rabbi Mangold. Hi, friends, but she would say it more like, hi, guys. Miss you very much. Not making fun of her, just like her as a person. I'm writing to share my gratitude for the one and only Mike Shapiro. Throughout my time at TBE, Mike was one of my greatest supporters, teachers, and friends. He played an extraordinary role in helping me grow into the rabbi I am today. The patience, kindness, and care he showed me made such a difference in my life. Mike even came to my installation at my current temple as he continued to support me in this new chapter. Everyone here at Temple Emmanuel was truly touched by his kindness and care. Because Mike grew up at my current temple, I have the joy of walking by his confirmation picture hanging on the wall each and every day and smiling as I reflect on the positive impact he has made on my life. I always looked forward to our weekly meetings. Mike was skilled at uplifting my accomplishments while also sharing constructive feedback that helped me grow. Listening to him share his passion, his vision, and his love for the community truly inspired me. I also loved hearing his metaphors and his anecdotes, each filled with wisdom. I loved the speeches he made to the congregation, the articles he wrote, the humor, the sports references I barely understood, the poetry, the Springsteen songs, and the sounding of the shofar. I loved seeing that look of pride in his eyes as he looked at our community and saw that it was the best. He genuinely cares and he genuinely believes in Temple Beth-El's future. I cannot even count how many times he answered his phone during his own day to help us out in the office. He serves Temple Beth-El out of the goodness of his heart when he already has a full-time job and a family. He treats the temple and our staff as just as important as any other priority in his life. Mike's dedication and effort has really inspired such positivity at TBE. The energy, the love, the positivity, the inclusivity, the genuine care people have for each other, and the intergenerational relationships. Mike worked so hard to create this kind of temple environment. He has made a true difference, and I hope he knows how much he matters to us all. B'Shalom, Rabbi Jen Mangold. So I will offer a few of my own words, but first, I think these pictures tell a lot about the time Mike has not only been at our synagogue, but truly elevated it to the holy community that it is. So I want to not just acknowledge what an incredible year that is, but to Tova Feld, if you'll please stand up, who put together this video. So, although I speak all the time from the Bema, I just have 2 words for you, Mike. Thank you. When we were trying to figure out how we wanted to honor Mike, and not just Mike, but really the legacy that he's going to leave in our synagogue as he's going on vacation, but then he'll be right back. Matt and I thought, oh yeah, bobblehead, that's going to be the ticket. So you got the bobblehead for your birthday. And then I contacted Etsy and I said, oh yeah, tattoos, that's going to be the ticket. So the temporary tattoos that Brotherhood is wearing and his family wasn't the ticket. And then we thought, this was really a winner today that Bonet came up with, little Mike heads. But the fact is none of this does anything justice, because Mike, you're not going anywhere, and the gifts that you have given this congregation and myself and the leadership and every single member is truly staying here in how you love and how you care and the compassion that you live. So when Jay and Rebecca and I, where's Jay? When Jay and Rebecca and I were talking about what would really be the way to honor what you bring to us, the Kugel story kept coming up over and over and over again, and it's true. We make light of it and we laugh, but what does Kugel represent? It represents heart, it represents community. You bring a Kugel to someone who's in need, someone who's homebound. You bring a Kugel to your neighbor who's new. How did you grow up? Whether it was Kugel because you grew up in like a Ashkenormative Jewish community, or maybe it was a fruitcake because you didn't. But we get, in our faith particularly, that when you feed the stomach, you feed the soul. So for the past few months, Mike, we have put together what is now known as the Kugel Fund. The Kugel Fund, which has raised upwards of $3,600 in your honor, will go towards our earth angels greeting and being with people in their homes, the true essence of what you taught us about Kugel. And so on this list, we have the many givers of the gifts to your fund. People gave what they could give, and people gave a lot. So thank you to all of the congregants who did give. Our staff put together a really meaningful card that I'm sure that you'll want to take a look at in private. And the Brotherhood just couldn't get out of having their own gift. So is Lewis back there? He was back here at 3 different times so far telling me to hurry up. So Lewis has something for you, so I'm going to invite you up here, Mike.
I am really, really scared right now.
I'm also scared. It's a lot for a rabbi to give up her mic. This is a big piece of Kugel. There you go. You're welcome. You're welcome. Here we come. Ted's really, the Messiah's on its way. That's what this feels like. Yes. Here he comes. So Lewis, if you will come up here, and Jim Mattson is going to join you. He's wearing his tattoo he wanted to share. And then you can speak afterwards. It's okay.
And I'm okay with that, and so is Matt. But the two of us have been putting up with you and your Kugel story for way too long. So, that being said, by the way, thank you for, you guys don't realize this, there's a gentleman in the kitchen. His name is Ross Prebill, who's a past president of Brotherhood almost 30 years ago.
Long time ago.
who showed up because of Mike and made a fatal mistake and walked in the kitchen, so you'll see him later. That's the answer to that.
He didn't leave, yeah.
He didn't leave. So with that, this was in honor of you, your Lake Burton shirt. Okay, brought a little Georgia with us. We're sick and tired of your Kugel story. We've all had enough of it.
Absolutely.
So with the help of Tanta Phyllis, you now have a frozen Kugel like an old Jewish woman.
The freezer.
Freezer.
It is frozen.
And it is frozen. And you have another Kugel if you want some for dinner for the after party.
Okay.
We will warm it up for you. Now, the hook is, since you're fired as president, thank God for you.
It's been 10 years.
Your leaning post has been changed into a red Ferrari.
Good, thank you.
You are required to attend the kitchen, take your standard position, which you've left behind for quite a while,
At the dishwasher.
at the dishwasher.
True.
Oh, yeah.
True.
Yeah, but he doesn't go to the dishwasher till everybody's done eating, because that's when the dishes come. But prior to that, he has a leaning post where he's been for 30, Matt, you're 36?
30.
So for well over a week, Mike's position has been this in the kitchen. His elbow on the mixer. Mattson next to him, dying, opening and closing the oven. Shapiro? Good job, Jim. Good job, Jim. So we're pleased to bring you home.
Yep.
We're all honored and thrilled that you've been able to step up to the plate more than once. And because of it, you kept most of us around. You made it very important when you said, we're going to go back to having fun. And you nailed it. And I love you for it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You know, the kitchen could use about 8 more. I'm just mentioning it to you, Mike.
I get the last word before we adjourn the meeting. Just first, thank you, Rabbi Torp. Appreciate that. Rabbi Mangold and Rabbi Morrison. And I guess I have to say thank you to Louis and Jim. I can translate later if anybody didn't understand what he was suggesting. Many of you have said to me, 5 years. Wow, you really stepped up. And while I certainly appreciate the compliment, here's the truth. I could never give as much to this community as I have received from you. What this congregation, this Jewish community has given me cannot be measured, and it certainly cannot be repaid. Many of the most important relationships in Sue's and my life exist because of Temple Beth-El. That alone is priceless. I've watched Elena and Matt grow up here, forming friendships and building a network that will stay with them for life. And now I see Avery and Zoe, our grandchildren, learning, growing, and feeling completely at home here, already believing this is their community too. We often hear you need to give in order to receive, and that is usually true. Some might suggest I've given a great deal over the years, but I would tell you without hesitation, I have received far more than I could ever give. The sense of belonging I feel with all of you is something I can't put into words. I could serve as president for another 5 years and still not give back as much as I have received. Long before our gallery opened in downtown St. Petersburg, Sue was beginning her career as a clay artist. She was incredibly talented, still is, and much of her early success was encouraged and supported by members of this temple and the Jewish community of St. Petersburg and Pinellas County. When we opened our first brick-and-mortar location in 1998, this community showed up for us again. And when our Jefferson's moment arrived and the opportunity came to move the gallery uptown, it was connections rooted right here that made it possible. I can say with complete confidence, without Temple Beth-El, there would be no Shapiro's Gallery in downtown St. Petersburg today. This community has given my family so much, far more than we could ever repay. So please know this. Serving as Temple president was never, ever a sacrifice. It has been a privilege. And yes, having the parking space was a pretty good perk. So I've been thinking about what to share in my final message as Temple president. And I keep coming back to a story I shared once before, and I think you guys have heard about it already tonight. Years ago, during my first term as president in 2005, a congregant passed away. She wasn't a well-known figure. Her name didn't adorn the walls, nor was she on any committee that I was aware of. She was simply a member like so many of us. Someone who came a few times a year, who showed up for yard sites, who belonged in a quiet yet meaningful way. After the In Our Lives notice went out, I received a phone call from another congregant. She said, "I just saw the notice. I have a kugel in my freezer. Where should I bring it?" I have a kugel in my freezer. Where should I bring it? I asked her if she knew the woman. She said, "No, I don't think so. I just have a kugel, and I want to share it with her family." That moment has resonated and stayed with me. Here was someone reaching out not because of a personal connection, but because it was simply a caring gesture. For her, it was the right thing to do. I remember suggesting to Rabbi Torp, perhaps in a half-joking way, that this should be our unofficial slogan, Temple Beth-El, where we always have a kugel in the freezer. You see, that's who I want us to be, a congregation that always has a kugel at the ready, whether literal or metaphorical. A community that shows up, that reaches out, that supports one another, especially in time of need. A few years ago, a new member who was also new to the area, his dad passed away. He expressed concern that other than those on Zoom, he would not have enough for a Shiva Minyan. That evening, 20 individuals from our community showed up in his living room. I'm not sure whether the moment was more powerful for him or for those who answered the call. At our core, that is who I think we are. As individuals, we may only be pebbles, but just imagine the ripples of good we can create with just a little effort. For nearly 100 years, Temple Beth-El has been shaped by remarkable presidents. Some laid the foundation of this congregation. Others led moves, built facilities, and guided major fundraising campaigns. Me, I'd be honored to be remembered for something simpler. I want to be the one who reminded us to take care of each other, to reach out, to show up, to always have a kugel in the freezer. Because while I can never repay what this community has given me, I hope that I helped strengthen what makes TBE so special to so many of us. So next time you pass the photos of past presidents outside the Sembler Library and you see mine, I hope you smile and think, Temple Beth-El, where we always have a kugel in the freezer. That would mean everything to me. Jay, you want to take us home? Adjourn the meeting?
buy a kugel for the freezer. We're going to do a motzi so that we can all move into the social hall for dinner, and the meeting is officially adjourned. Rabbi, lead us in the motzi.
I wanted you to do that, Jay. That's your first official capacity. Come on up here. We join together in the words of Motzi, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, b'tei avon. Now you can adjourn it. I think they have to tell you.
You have to tell me? All right. We are adjourned. Thank everybody for attending. Let's have dinner.